Okay, it's a fun Friday, and I'm going to answer a few questions that were brought up in the last videos. First of all, some of you may every once in a while see this board. It's either sitting on the floor or it's here like this, and you think, what in the world is he doing here? It couldn't be cobbled up a bit any worse than it is. Huh? I kind of really cobbled this up, but here's what it is. The cats, you saw the cats. Every once in a while you see the cats around. I have two cats that live here in the shop. I have a little box over here set up for them, and it's got a big old heat lamp in it, and it keeps them warm all winter. So they're out here. Well, in the winter months, if I don't cover up that forge when I'm done, see, this comes right out of here, and then I slide it off to the side. So if I don't do that, they're not going to go out in the snow or out in the cold or in the rain to go to the bathroom. They're going to go right here, and ooh, that's nasty when they do. So we had to eliminate that problem. Someday, you know, if I can ever find a good blacksmith that I could afford, maybe I would hire one to build me a beautiful screen for over here, keep the cats out. But until then, my old nasty piece of plywood. So we want to talk about several people asked questions about the chisel and the fence. Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, here's our chisel that everybody was asking about with its fence. All right, now this is not a special tool that you should all go out and emulate or anything like this. I made this out of necessity. I needed a chisel right now with a fence on it, and I couldn't spend a lot of time building forging a really nice chisel groove with a groove in it and the fence all just right. There wasn't time for that. I had to make this as quick as I can because I had to get to work on a project, but it had to do the job. So all I did was I took my Flutagon chisel. Now Dan Boone, he introduced us all to Flutagon some 30 years ago, and the Flutagon is the shape of it. It's actually Atlantic 33, and it has unique characteristics that make it easy to quench in water, to harden, and it holds up an edge, and it maintains that holding in hot steel. It doesn't lose its temper, okay, like me. I lose my temper on everything. So I just grabbed my Flutagon chisel. I said, I need a fence on it. I checked the size of it, I checked the depth of it, and I saw that, okay, that width right there is going to be just exactly, I got lucky, it's just exactly what I wanted. But I intended that if it wasn't, I would put some shims in between here. So all I did was drill 2 holes. Now, I tried to drill a hill a little bit lower, and guess what? That part's hardened. You know, when you heat it red hot and quench it in water, that part hardened, and this part wasn't. So that was the nice thing about using Flutagon, that this was mild enough that I could drill it. And so I just drilled 2 holes through it, put the fence on there, and there it was. I originally tried to just clamp it, maybe with vice grips, but it has to be stable. It had to be on board, you know. And then I thought, well, I could just weld it to it. I didn't like the idea of that. And I thought, well, I can run a hose clamp around it. That wasn't sturdy enough because it didn't keep it from moving the height-wise up and down. And I needed it to be a certain height-wise. So simple enough. I just took a chisel, drilled 2 holes in it, put some bolts in it, and put the fence on it. This is not a great tool that you want to emulate. It just got the job done. Okay, so don't be running off doing this. Make a good one. Take the time because it's worth it. You'll always need it sometime or another. Now, this is another thing you're going to want to talk about. We'll talk about that in the next video of this little bench made for holding pieces while I chisel. We'll talk about that in the next video. Let's go look at the work at hand. that this is it. So this is what I'm working on. Now you can see where those long bars are going to act as a frame around this grill work. And you can see one of the rivets over there in the corner that I think I like that style of a rivet. It's sticking up out of there right now. It's not down flush, but I like how that's going to look. The frame is nice. So now next week I have to take all these scrolls and go over them individually, make sure everything is right, and then group them together in pairs, and then take those pairs and group them together in columns to decide where everybody goes so that they're right. Now they're all going to get collared together and then collared to the frame. Then I have to work on the bottom of the frame. You see there's nothing been done here yet. The bottom of the frame is different. And so I thought I'd get these guys grouped first, and then I will work on the bottom of the frame and create that's needed down there. So I still have a ways to go on this, but you can see now where these long rods go that just seemed kind of boring what I was doing, but you can see how important it is to do and have it just right, to get those lines along there. It literally looks good. So that's where we're going with this. So next time we'll be talking, well, in the days to come, you'll see little bits and bobs as we go and put things together. You'll see them in the groups, you'll see them in the, yeah, everything. Okay? So there we are with our Fun-Filled Friday. You got to see a few things this week of what I've done. So slow, I know. They seem like so small and insignificant, but it's what, you know, it's that detail. As Zig Ziglar would say, huh? It's that part of the covers that hang over the bed that keep you warm at night, not the stuff on top of you. So with that thought, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you Monday.